Welcome to NFL Week 9 edition of Benny versus the Penny. Here's your host, big bloviating Ben Maller.
And I am excited to be here, Tom Looney, and fired up for Week 9, and it cannot get much worse than it did last week. Now, before we get into it, Tom, a little inside radio trivia. Right?
Okay.
You know, when you do trivia, Tom, you become trivial. You know that.
It is true. Yes. Shout out to Drew Hayes. Absolutely.
So I am wearing a hat here. I want to see if you can see. Do you recognize that hat? I'm going to test your radio knowledge. Let's see. Tom Looney.
Let's see. MPUS.
No, it's not a U. Let's see here. You can see the right there. That's an O. That's an O.
It's POS. Mark Patrick on sports.
Yes, you got it right. Our old morning guy, Mark Patrick, back in the old days at Fox Sports Radio. Mark was a big star in Indiana and did the morning show at Fox Sports Radio. And my favorite Mark Patrick story, Tom, is he was in Indianapolis. I was in L.A., and we became kind of like pen pals and stuff. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Hey, I got a kid, and he's a pretty good baseball player." So he would tell me about his kids growing up high school, and he went to college at Stanford and all that. And his kid ended up in the major leagues as the closer for the Washington Nationals. How cool is that? Yeah. Cool. And I got to go out and see him at Dodger Stadium and say hello. And it was really cool. It was awesome to follow him. His name was Drew Storen, was the kid.
Okay.
And he was a closer. That's at least one big year with the Nationals, and then kind of flamed out. But just kind of cool that and one of the radio guys, Tom. I remember when the Dodgers, who was the Ross Newham? Remember the writer for the LA Times, baseball writer? His kid made the major leagues with the Padres. And it was like everyone, all the writers were shocked. Like a baseball writer's kid made the major leagues. It was like, oh my God. Well, a radio guy's kid made the major leagues also. So it does happen every once in a while, Tom. It does happen.
Well, Ben, congratulations on your NFL Week 8 record. It's hard to believe we were promoted from NBC to YouTube. Ben, 4 wins and 9 losses. If my Looney math is correct, the Penny went 7-6.
Yeah.
And let's put up some fabulous graphics so people can read this train wreck on the graphic. Look up. Yes. As for the season totals, Benny had 65 wins, 62 losses so far. Penny has 55 wins, 72 losses. So you're up on the brainless Penny so far this season, Ben. Penny, for your thoughts.
Well, before we get to the Penny of the thoughts, Tom, let me just point out that now what's below YouTube? We went from NBC, we're on YouTube. Like, what's below that? Like, where do we fall next?
MySpace.
All right, I got a couple of thoughts. Now, I never make excuses, Tom. I do not believe in excuses. However, I didn't say but Alf and Ferg. I said, however, if you look at what happened last week, it was historical. Yeah. And I generally lean towards underdogs. I handicap the games, and I look for a reason not to bet the underdogs. And I normally go with the underdogs. And so last week in Week 8, I'll call it choking on the chalk, Tom. Favorites went 11-2 against the spread. And 84% winning percent, almost 85%.
Vegas doesn't like that, right?
Well, no, because the public bets on favorites, and there's more money bet on favorites, generally speaking. But in fact, how good was that, Tom? That was so good. If you just blindly bet on favorites, if you go back, that was the top winning percentage betting NFL games in a single week since December of 1985.
Ooh.
You got to go that far back. All 11 favorites.
Holy Jim McMahon. Wow.
Not only that, all 11 favorites, they didn't just cover the spread by a little bit. They covered the spread by 7 or more points in Week 8. I was getting cooked all over the place. I was getting absolutely killed here. So I
have a question for you that I wouldn't have time to interrupt and ask you if we were on our tight TV time window. But since we don't have that, I can ask you this. The Las Vegas guys, the guys who are amazing, who make the lines, did people lose their jobs, you think, over that?
No. The one thing I've learned over the years is they're able to kind of mess the numbers up, futz with the numbers, because they have all the prop bets. So there's more than one way. I mean, there's a million prop bets. So if they got killed on the prop bets and the game, it's different if it's like the Super Bowl or something like that. But At least that's what I've been told. Who knows? Maybe they're telling me crap. But yeah, they can mess, because a lot of people bet parlays also, and all it takes, 11-2 favorites won 11-2 this past weekend. However, if enough people combine the one loss with the other teams, they end up losing their parlays, and so they end up making money that way.
People love the parlays.
Yeah, it's a sucker's bet. I mean, I'll do it every once in a while. You love it, Tom. You love the suckers bet, right? You like to bet a little and win a lot. You always tell me.
Yes, I've always liked the suckers bet. I did that once with the stock market, and then called myself an expert, and then never won again.
Well, I definitely know you're not an expert when it comes to financial advice. Now, meanwhile, Tom, how about in Pittsburgh, Terrell Austin? Terrell Austin has been the public enemy number one for the Steelers, who have one of the worst defenses in the NFL, one of the all-time worst defenses in franchise history. Now, Mike Tomlin was asked this week about whether or not he's going to make a change. Shockingly, I can't believe this, he didn't say, I'm thinking about firing my defensive coordinator. He said no changes at this point. There's no plan. Of course, you never plan on firing someone until, Tom, you fire that person. Yep. And then my final thought, I know this was in your wheelhouse, Tom. I wanted to bring it up because I thought this would be perfect for you. Travis Kelce involved in a pogo stick controversy, the Chiefs tight end. The national anthem back on Monday night, the Chiefs playing an island game against the Washington Commanders. And Travis Kelce, during the national anthem, Tom, was filmed bouncing and moving around. He couldn't stay still. And he did have his hand over his heart, but he was bouncing around. And while Patrick Mahomes was right there, stood still, respectful, hand behind his back, both hands behind his back. Anyway, people were up in arms saying Travis Kelce, he was too animated, that he was seeking attention, that he was disrespectful, classless was a term that was used, Tom, all because he couldn't stay still during the national anthem. And I thought that was amusing. And again, my theory on social media, Tom, if you want to find someone upset, there's always someone upset, whether they're real or not. And it reminds me, I used to be buddies with a bunch of newspaper guys, and they would say, hey, can you get me some reaction? They do this on television news also. Get me some reaction to a story, and then it's really up to you whether you want to get positive reaction or negative reaction, but you have to go to like grocery stores and things like that. Now they just go on social media, and they've got whatever they want. It's a smorgasbord is what it is.
Okay, let's dovetail to the A block. The aforementioned Steelers hosting the Colts. Steelers getting 3 points at home at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Colts might be the best team in the NFL at this moment. Steelers, so, and so far, not so good. Pittsburgh getting 3 at home.
Yeah, this is the Iron Eagle J.J. Watt game. Colts, the top team in the NFL, as we referenced there. Temperature is going to be in the 40s. It's late. Wow. Actually, it's early November.
That's football weather, Big Ben.
That's what I've heard. To me, it's wild that Indy is the better team here, and this is why they play the games here. Indiana Jones and company are going to crumble at some point. This is not going to last all season. The question is this week the week? I just can't put any kind of confidence in the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their defense is so bad. It's an act of charity to the other team every time they go out there. They've allowed over 700 passing yards, Pittsburgh, and 68 points the last 2 games they've lost. And Mike Tomlin's entire defense is underperforming across the board, from TJ Watt all the way down there. And they have one of the highest paid defenses in the NFL this year. Now, even Cam Hayward, as you know, the defensive star of Pittsburgh, he came out recently and said that the team is lacking fight, that it doesn't handle adversity well. And that's what I saw. I couldn't believe how bad they played in the second half against the Green Bay Packers. It was stunning. Just the bad execution. They were not in position. Guys making business decisions not to tackle. Now, Indy's defense is not very good either. You're not going to post about them on social media. They're ranked 24th in the NFL. So there will be some opportunities for Aaron Rodgers to make plays. That said, you bet the superior team. If you had told me before the year, I'm going to take the Colts and lay points at Pittsburgh, I would have said, get off the fentanyl. But here I am, Tom. I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts and their owner, who will be on the sidelines there. She's always looking good there on the sideline. Irsay's daughter, who inherited the team. And I'll take the Colts.
You're sexist.
All right. And
you never said Irsay was handsome.
No, he's ugly. Well, he's dead now. All right, the penny picks, Tom. The penny picks.
Heads home team, tails the visitors. That's how we play. Penny versus Penny landing on tails. Penny going with the Colts along with Benny going with the visiting Indianapolis Colts and giving away the points.
I should also mention, good news, we will not be talking about the Browns or the Jets playing this week because they're not. They have a bye. Also, the Eagles and the Buccaneers are not playing. So those are the teams that are off. Where are we going now, Tom?
Let's talk about who is playing, like the 49ers and Giants. East Rutherford, New Jersey. Giants have lost their mascot, Cam LaBoo-Boo. 49ers coming off a beat down at the hand of the Texans. New York getting 2.5 points at home.
Yeah, so the Niners somehow have cobbled together 5 wins as we look at this game. I mean, you look at the team, you're like, they lost everybody.
Yeah.
Kevin Harlan has the call on CBS.
I like him.
We like him. He's a fan of sports radio. So we're going to take the healthier team here, which is the home team.
Okay.
The Giants are 2-1 against the spread at home. Their 2 wins this year have been pretty entertaining, I guess is the way to describe it. They've been close games. Most teams play closer games at home. And I look at the 49ers. I look at all the players out. Fred Warner and Nick Bosa gone for the year. Bryce Huff is out. The Niners, as my friend Ernesto in the Bay Area, who's a big fan of the show, would tell you, they are at the part of the script here, Tom, if you look at the manuscript, where they're now trading for guys and passing out name tags and saying, hey, you're in the starting lineup here. They acquired Keon White from the
Dodger relievers. Yes.
It's pretty bad. And Brock Purdy, oh my toe, Tom. He may come back, although at the time we are doing Benny versus the Penny, it sounds like he's not going to play, which means
if he does come back, will it matter?
Well, that's the issue because the court. You know what Mac Jones' real name is? Do you know what his real name is, Tom?
Yes, Aristotle.
Well, close. McCorkle.
Oh,
McCorkle. Okay. Can you imagine naming a kid McCorkle? Holy crap. That must be a family name or something like
parents. Oh my God.
Listen, either way, it doesn't matter whether Mac Jones or Brock Purdy plays.
Holy Peter Dinklage. What a bad name. Oh
the Niners have been inconsistent finishing drives. Oh, the worst name is Steph Curry, right? His real name, which is Wardell Curry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his name is not Steph.
His dad must have picked that name.
That's not a good.
His mom's white. A white mother wouldn't pick Wardell.
We don't need to go there, Tom. How dare you? But if the Giants can bend without breaking, on defense, you combine the Niners don't generally finish drives. They've settled for a lot of field goals. The Giants, they're giving up a lot of yards. If they can just hold the Niners to field goals, they'll be fine here in this game.
You believe in Jackson Dart?
I do not as much. Obviously, you ripped Cam Scatterboo. He's a heart and soul guy. He's a glue guy, Tom. Cam Scatterboo is a glue. He's out. Did you like the video of his leg bending the wrong way?
I don't like watching those. I really don't.
I don't know anyone that does. I'd like to thank everyone for sending me the videos when someone's leg snaps in half or their ankle cracks. I thank you for that. Appreciate you schmucks. Anyway, without Cam Scatterboo, that fundamentally changes the New York offense here. If you look at the numbers, Tom, it's called a handicapping show, Benny versus the Penny. Cam Scatterboo averaging 89 yards rushing per game, and he was accounting for 23% of the Giants' offense. So imagine eliminating almost 25% of your productivity, and yet I am still taking the Giants here as a live home dog. I don't trust the Niners with all those guys out on defense and questionable quarterback play. The Penny picks.
Okay. Throw it in the air like we just don't care. Penny. Trickeration there. Penny agreeing with Benny going with the home team of the Giants and giving away the points.
This is a fine oiled machine. Where are we headed now, Tom?
Falcons at Patriots, Foxborough, Massachusetts. Drake May is playing out of his mind, and the Falcons are playing like dead ducks when they play outdoors. This game is outdoors, Ben. Atlanta's getting 5.5 points.
They have not put a dome over the stadium out in the woods of Foxborough. Hey, when we went to Boston, did you go to Foxborough last year? Did you drive by the Patriots Stadium?
I don't think I did. No. I don't think I did, no.
Yeah, because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's out in the forest out there, and players would complain and all that. But anyway, listen, the Falcons have settled in. to the type of team we thought they were going to be. They
are who we thought they are.
Yeah, I mean, or thought they were. You want to crown them, you can crown their ass. But this is the kind of a team that's going to get Raheem Morris fired. Now, New England is on an absolute burner, Tom, as the kids say. 6-2 against the spread. Just amazing. I thought it was 5-2 rather. 5-2 against the spread this season, and they're running a 5-game winning streak, 2 straight double-digit wins for the Patriots. Drake May quietly, statistically, is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He leads the NFL in passing play success rate. That sounds like a made-up stat. And is second in it's top 2 in 20-plus yard completion. So they don't have a bunch of big-name receivers, the Patriots, but Drake May's been able to get a lot of yakety-yak yards after the catch. And the Patriots,
that's when you know. It's Austin Collie syndrome. That's when you know you've got a good team, when your quarterback is making big names out of no names.
Well, there is that, Tom, and there's also, you still don't know. They have steamrolled through the hostess schedule, Tom. If you look at who the Patriots have played.
A tiptoe through the tulips.
They've played ding-dongs, they played fruit pies, and they just beat up zingers last week. So they really had a good time with the zingers.
Well,
here.
In their defense, they did beat the Buffalo Bills.
That is true. That should be a bad sign, though, for your Buffalo Bills. Yeah. Anyway, Patriots defense has not allowed more than 50 rushing yards by any running back this season. Now, what is the special sauce for the Falcons?
What is the special sauce for the Falcons?
Well, it's not mustard, although it sounds like mustard. Bijan Robinson, the running back, and that's the guy. That's the big-time playmaker. He's a very good player, and if they can neutralize him, obviously they should win this game easily.
Well, yeah, if the mustard falls off the hot dog, the Patriots are going to win this game.
All right, thank you, Chick Hearn. Falcons are 1-2 against the spread on the road. You mentioned it's getting to that time of the year. We're heading into November this weekend, so it's going to be a little colder, especially in a place like Foxborough. Dome team going up north here. And Atlanta has only scored 10 points in back-to-back games. Now, Kirk Cousins did start the game last week. Michael Penix Jr. is supposed to come back and play. He's returning, and he faces a Patriots defense that's ranked in the top 5 in yards allowed per play and just does very well at home. Dome team, 40-degree weather. Michael Penix, not a very good quarterback. It's going to be a Patriot win and cover in this game. I'm taking the favorite. What about the penny?
Wow, you're not taking the points so far this week. Interesting. Let's go with the penny. Okay, Penny landing on tails. Penny going with the visiting Falcons, disagreeing with Ben. Ben picking the Patriots and giving away the points.
See, now you're ruining it. Now, I didn't realize I was picking all favorites. See, now all the chalk's going to win. But anyway, where are we going now, Tom? Where are we headed?
We're going as we transition now to the B block. As you can see, the breaking news straight ahead, the B block. But first, Ben, sell the soap.
I love the B block. Well, hey, we are on YouTube, which I'm told is a global platform. Tom, we're not just stuck. We're not being handcuffed into local, regional cable television across the United States. No. We have a global audience. We have Terry in England that watches this. We've got our friend in South Korea who listens to the overnight show. He listens. And the numbers have gone up, but we need to keep
my cousin Timmy watching in upstate New York. Hi,
Timmy. Hi, Timmy. What's going on? So there are people that spend millions and millions of dollars on advertising, Tom. They spend a lot of money on marketing.
Yes.
So I was reading a book about advertising and marketing. This was a couple years ago because I stopped reading. But I read the book.
Those are 5 words I've never heard you say. I was reading a book.
Yes. It's been a couple years. So I remember I read a book about infomercials and I read a book about marketing. The infomercial one, and I think it was from that book. It might have been from the marketing book. But it essentially said that despite all of the money that people spend on advertising, still to this day, because of human nature, the most important advertising is word of mouth advertising. That if McDonald's buys a commercial and says, hey, we want you to eat a Big Mac, okay, but if your neighbor who you like says, I had a Big Mac, it was so good, you should go to McDonald's, you're more likely to go eat a Big Mac because of your neighbor than you are because of a commercial. So we need some guerrilla marketing, Tom. That's what we need here. Yeah, tell a friend, get the word out. We're not like these billboard lawyers in LA. We're not like Sweet James. We can't afford billboards and all that. So just help us out. Do us a solid. Let's get back.
My cousin Timmy told my cousin Pat to watch, and now my cousin Pat's watching.
See, there you go. There you go. All right, let's get back to the games, Tom. Where are we going?
Okay, Broncos at Texans, Houston, Texas, where Beyonce was born. Ben, but you knew that. Of course, Texans can't protect their quarterback, playing the Broncos, who like to sack quarterbacks. Denver getting 1.5 points here.
Well, Houston needs no introduction, Tom. That is where the integrity of baseball died in 2017 during the World Series. But I digress. I'm going to ride the Sean Payton defense here for the Broncos in this game. Denver has forced a punt on a league-high 50% of opponent possessions. I'm told that's good. And so they've been very, upper crust. I guess I'm probably not King's English there, but they've been elite at stopping explosive plays. There are not many explosive plays against them, and they've been very good in the red zone as well. If you do those two things, you're going to win most of the time, and you're going to cover the spread. They're actually getting points. The reason the point spread is as crazy as it is here, that Broncos 6-2, the Texans have a losing record. Houston does have the number one defense in the NFL. So that statistically speaking, they are better than the Broncos. The issue is the ragdoll offensive line of Houston. They just haven't worked well with C.J. Stroud. Stroud is running around. He's like a Ferris wheel. He's gone up and down every week.
In defense of the Houston Texans offensive line, they're just not very good at blocking that.
Other than that, though, they're good at eating. They're very good at eating. Denver is third in the NFL in pressure rate. They're first in sack rate, and they go against a flotsam and jetsam level offensive line here. The other thing for the Broncos defense, they are without Patrick Surtain. He injured his pec. Do you know what that is, Tom? Your pec?
Oh,
yeah, he strained it. So, however, Dak, if you look last week, Dak Prescott, the Broncos killed the Cowboys. Dak Prescott took 18 dropbacks last week with Patrick Surtain out of the lineup, and he had a 55.1 passer rating. So he didn't do very well. Small sample size. Bo Nix is not great. However, he's been the more trustworthy option between these two quarterbacks. He's thrown multiple touchdowns in 4 of his last 8 games here. And so even though the Texans have the top defense in the NFL, they call it the Space City Swarm, Tom. It's got a cute
Space City Swarm. I like it.
Yeah, because NASA's down there. So they're legit. They're legit. It's going to be close. It's going to be a field goal game, but all the Broncos have to do is win the game. Houston will make some plays, but they're too inconsistent on third down. Give me the Broncos. What about the penny?
Okay, let's see what the penny says.
All right.
Round and round.
That's tails. You know what that means? You know what that means?
Tails. That's the visitors, the Broncos. Penny agreeing with you and going with the Denver Broncos.
All right. What is next, Tom?
What is next? Vikings at Lions, Detroit, Michigan, where the Lions are hotsy-totsy. The Vikings, hotsy-notsy. Minnesota getting 8.5 points.
Yeah, this feels like too many points. It does. Bounce back for Minnesota. They lost Carson Wentz. They were guilty of truancy last week against the Chargers in L.A. You've got redshirt rookie J.J. McCarthy, who is not good, Tom. I'm not going to say he's made one good quarter of football so far. He's returning from injury. He's only made a couple of starts. I expect a conservative, run-heavy attack here, trying to milk the clock, minimize the time the Lions' offense is on the field. And it's not like J.J. McCarthy's return is going to magically fix all of the problems the Vikings have, because many of them are on defense. I was shocked how bad Brian Flores' defense looked.
Yeah.
There were like traffic cones out there, just bad routes or routes, poor tackling. Just looked like they didn't want to be there. If you play like that against the Lions, obviously you're going to lose this game. If they play like they did last week, the Lions will win 50-6 or something.
I'm confused here because for a moment it seemed like you were steering towards the Vikings and being a points whore. Now it seems like you're steering back towards the Lions. We're still wondering. You're keeping our breath here.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take Minnesota here. The Lions are coming off a bye. So usually you come off a bye, you get off to a little bit of a slow start. You got to kind of work yourself. Too many cocktails in Cancun, Tom.
Yeah, all right.
And generally, I like the zigzag theory. It doesn't always work out, but historically, the zigzag theory has worked. Where if a team looks like a Pop Warner team one week, They generally don't look like that the following week if they have a half decent coach and they have any.
Does that also work with teams that look like world beaters one week?
Yes, yeah. Well, that's the regression to the mean. But it also works the other way. The regression to the mean works if you have a team that is really bad, you're going to regress to the middle, at least to the middle. Even if you're bad, like the Jets last week came back and beat the Bengals, which is a ridiculous game and all that. Anyway, listen, enough of that. It's a divisional game, Tom. What is my rule? Touchdown or more than a divisional game?
More than a touchdown divisional game. Take the points.
All right, here we go. Purple people eaters and the penny picks.
Okay. See where the penny lands. Penny landing on tails. Penny going with the visiting Vikings, agreeing with Ben. And we move along. We hate when we have agreement with the penny, but and so does the penny because the penny doesn't want to be aligned with Ben Maller this year.
It's bad. It's bad tube, Tom. It's bad tube. YouTube. All right. What's
tube? I think
we have the game of the day. Yes.
Yeah. Chiefs and Bills. Buffalo, New York, birthplace of chicken wings with hot sauce and blue cheese. Never ranch. Always blue cheese.
Yes.
But matter of fact, it's against the law in the state of New York to serve chicken wings with ranch as it should be. You know how that ended up happening?
How's that?
When Domino's started delivering chicken wings, ranch is cheaper than blue cheese. So that's how that horrible, that mortal sin started to happen. Anyway, both these teams are coming off smoking hot weeks in week 8, and Bills are getting 2 at home.
This is the crown jewel of the NFL card this weekend. You've got Jim Nance and Tony Romo. Your buddy Tony will be there.
Look at that, Jim.
And so you got Mahomes and Josh Allen. Now, if you look at recent history, Tom, the Bills have actually won. Your Buffalo Bills, you know this because you're a Bills fan. The Bills have won 4 consecutive games, the team of your youth, against the Chiefs in the regular season. Now, as the late, great radio man Paul Harvey would say, for the rest of the story. Yeah. They've played the last 4 times in the playoffs. Kansas City is 4-0 against Buffalo in the playoffs. Now, as for the meat and potatoes of this game, Buffalo ranks near the very bottom in run defense. So even though Kansas City, you don't think of them as a good running team, you got
it might be good Sunday.
You got to think that Andy Reid's going to lean into Isaiah Pacheco, the running back from Rutgers. Short yardage, a lot of running the football. The Bills also, their pass rush has been spotty. And the way Mahomes has been playing the last month or so, you think this is going to be like junior high school science where he's dissecting the Buffalo secondary here.
Yeah.
And someone said, well, this is a bigger game. Actually, I was on the radio in Kansas City with my friend Bob Fesco on his morning show this week. And they asked me, I think Dusty asked me, he's like, is this a bigger game for the Bills or is it a bigger game for the Chiefs? And he said it was a bigger game for the Bills. I say it's a bigger game for the Chiefs because of those early losses. They've already lost 3 games. They don't have much wiggle room if they want to get a top 2 seed in the AFC. True. And so they're still trying to mark their territory, let everyone know they're back. Everyone will be watching this game as much as you can because I know there's other games going on. Chiefs have the number 4 defense in the NFL. Josh Allen's been great, but the last 4 games, Tom, your guy, Josh Allen, Mr. MVP, 7 touchdowns, 7 turnovers the last 4 games, 4 interceptions, 3 fumbles. I'm taking the Chiefs. What about the Penny?
Okay, you're taking the Chiefs.
Home of the
Penny lending on heads. Penny going with the home team, the Buffalo Bills. The brainless Penny's the smart one this week, going with the Bills. And then Big Ben Maller giving away points and going, giving away the points and taking the Chiefs.
Yeah. The Chiefs a small underdog in this game, and everyone will be in a good mood. They eat the Ben Maller chicken fingers there in Kansas City. All right, what's next, Tom? What do we have?
Okay, we're going to Seahawks at Commanders. Washington has no pass defense, and that has the great Sam Darnold licking his chops. And the well-traveled Sam, the quarterback for Seattle this year, and the Commanders getting 3.5 points.
Yeah, this is the big NBC game. How did this game end up on NBC Sunday Night Football? Holy cannoli. Anyway, Washington, they're just bad at 3-5. They look like they're lost. And
the guys in the corner offices at NBC did not realize Washington would be this bad.
Yeah, fair to say. Seattle's coming off the bye week here. They beat up Houston. They're rested. They're supposedly healthy. Seahawks have been 3-0 on the road this year against the spread, which is all we care about here. And they've done pretty well, despite Sam Darnold's reputation, which, as you told me, Tom, precedes him. He often sees ghosts. Regular season Sam Darnold, he's settled into regular season Sam Darnold's pretty good. And as long as it's not a big game, and he's all right. So on this one, I do expect Jaden Daniels is supposed to come back and all that, but the Commanders' run defense is not very good. They are not very good at all here. And if you look at what they've done recently, Seattle, they are able to run the ball with Zach Charbonneau and Kenneth Walker and those guys. So I lean into them more. I lean into them more, Tom, than I do Sam Darnold. Every time I watch Sam, I have to cover one of my eyes because it's disgusting to me. But
because you hold a grudge from all the years he screwed you over as a bad quarterback.
Well, part of it is that, and it's also something. It's just human nature. Once you form an opinion, Tom, that's it. You don't want to change your opinion. I've determined.
You're projecting, Ben. Once you form an opinion.
No. No, it's like, as you know, again, I go back to the book about infomercials and all that. It's like they try to get people, once you're over a certain age, you are set. You love your favorite toothpaste.
That is true. That is true.
You love your favorite potato chips, and it doesn't matter. So they try to get you hooked.
I bought my elderly parents some great Starbucks coffee, ground the beans myself, and it sat there. I went and visit 6 months later because I live far away. It was still sitting there. I took it back to home myself because they like their Maxwell House.
Right. Yeah. So the biggest thing you can do is brainwash children, indoctrinate children. It's like when restaurants have toys they give out in their value meals or whatever. It's like, kid loves it. And, anyway, all right. Bottom line, Tom, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks on the road. I'm going to lay the points on a road favorite. Jaden Daniels is coming back, but the Commanders have struggled on defense. They have allowed at least 336 total yards in 6 consecutive games. Seattle should win this game. It shouldn't even be close.
You got to feel sorry for Washington fans. Well, it was the Redskins fans, the football team fans, or the Commanders fans. Every once in a while, they'll have a throw-out statistic year, like where RG3 comes in, looks like the world's greatest football player, and they're back, and then they're not. And then it looked like last year they're back, and now they're not.
Yeah, no, it's the way they've gone there. And maybe they should get a real name.
You're right.
I know it's unlikely they're going to bring back the Redskins.
We should do that again. Okay. Because that just didn't. We did the air. Anybody heads disagreeing with Ben, going with the Washington Commanders, who Ben says should get a new name. Ben going with the Seattle Seahawks. What name did they get?
Well, when I see the Commanders, it's like when I go to Walmart. They have the generic store brand. It's a great value or something like that. That's what it just looks like, a store brand. I would say they should lean into the political stuff in Washington, but that's very polarizing these days.
Well, the Commanders is like the commander in chief, but there's only one of those, so you can't have two.
Commanders, it just seems like it's G.I. Joe. It's just kind of generic. All right, where are we going?
If they were a better football team, no one would care. The Cardinals at Cowboys, Arlington, Texas, ballpoint pen. Invented in Arlington, Texas. I don't know if you knew that, Ben. Dallas Cowboys have a red-hot offense and an ice-cold defense. Arizona stinks. They've lost 5 in a row, and they're only getting 2.5 points.
Well, I think you taught me that 15 years ago, Tom. Anyway, Dallas, they're another team that's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Tom. That's a dated reference, but you get it because you're old. So Dallas is 2-0-1 against the spread at home. At home, they're averaging a mind-boggling, eye-popping 41.3 points per game at AT&T Stadium. The firepower has been real there. Now, the saber-toothed tiger in the room, Tom, is the Dallas defense, which is a tremendous liability, and there's no way around it here. They're just horrific.
More like a cowardly lion in the room, right?
Yeah. The Cardinals are coming off a bye week. They're riding a 5-game. Now, if a winning streak is called a burner, what is a losing streak? A skid mark? Is that what it's a 5-game skid mark here? And they have kept the games close. They've just found new creative ways to lose games. The last 5 losses by a combined 13 points. Cowboys a small favorite here, 2.5-point favorites. Dak Prescott, another one, much like Sam Darnold. You don't want him in a big game. However, regular season, it's okay. He's also done really well in regular season night games in his career. 26-18-1 against the spread, 2-0 this season. At night, Kyler Murray, the little fella, Alligator Arms Murray, is expected to be back here. However, in a game that should be exciting if you like offense and touchdowns and all that, I'm going to take Dak, CeeDee Lamb, and George Pickens to get the last laugh and to win this game. It'll be close. They'll win it by a field goal, but they got a really good kicker in Dallas. I will take Shoddy. And how about them Cowboys, Tom?
Okay, let's see what the Penny thinks. Ooh, Penny landing on tails. Penny going with the Arizona Cardinals. Oh, boy. Yeah, well, it's brainless. Penny going with the Cardinals. Penny taking the hometown Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, Tom. I've got my GPS out. Where are we headed now? Where are we going now?
Loose change. Here's the our agreements and disagreements and what we call loose change. The games we didn't feature here on the show. Benny and the Penny go up against each other in every single game. They pick every game. I've got Bears at Bengals. Bungles hosting the Bad News Bears. Cincinnati getting 3. Benny taking the Bears. Penny and the Bengals. Raiders are getting 2.5 at home against the Jaguars. Benny holding his nose and taking the Raiders. Penny going with the Jaguars. Rams are home in Inglewood in the hood where the Rams are up to no good and the Saints are, well, they have a habit of losing football games by double digits. Rams favored by 14. Benny licking the toes of his favorite team. He loves the Rams. And you're going to give away the points and take the Rams?
I can't. Mr. Shuck is starting at quarterback for the Saints. He's a rookie. And it's going to be, as Elmer Fudd said, shucks. What are we doing here? My God. All right. Yeah.
So you're going to, well, the Penny landed on tails. Penny's taking the Saints. Well, Ben, as we get to the end of the C block and we start to move on, number of nattering nabobs of NFL nuggets knocking around in your numbskull noggin this week. Make it make sense.
Yeah, so I love the C.J. Gardner-Johnson story. He changed teams again. He's the NFL's most traveled pest, Tom. He just inked the deal this week with the Chicago Bears. And if you're keeping track at home, he's also been this season with the Texans and the Baltimore Ravens. And if you're counting, I believe that's now C.J. Gardner-Johnson. The Bears will be his 4th team in the last year.
Wow.
And at least 3 locker rooms needed a palate cleanser to get rid of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Like, this is not signing a player. It's like some kind of science experiment. Gardner-Johnson, he's a slot corner, but it appears he's more into psychological warfare, Tom. He's the guy that ends up getting punched by his own teammates,
right,
and opponents. Not just his opponents, but his own teammates. He's a annoying instigator, and the defensive back equivalent. You'll appreciate this, Tom, of Wasabi, sharp, fiery, and used sparingly. Right there, you go. Shout out to our
like it. Yes. It's Wasabi. I always say salsa for the brain.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, you need a lot of salsa. And my last thing is a fashion statement, Tom. So the Green Bay Packers, one of the dumbest things the NFL does is they try to wear these old school uniforms from back when they wore leather helmets. Did you see the Steelers uniforms this past week?
Yeah, and I know it's already a great game, and it's a historic franchise. And we, and by the way, I'm as you know, I'm not the get off the lawn guy. I like new music. I like new things. I'll drink my Starbucks. I'm not drinking the Maxwell House, but the throwback uniforms aren't necessary. It's a great game with a great team. It's a great game with 2 great teams. Don't mess with the uniforms. Jesus.
Yes. So you'll appreciate this. So the Packers are wearing their throwback uniforms this weekend. They're going to wear the 1923 Classics, they say, against the Carolina Panthers. And they're going to wear – the jerseys are navy blue. They've got gold numbers and letters. Who cares about that? Gold pants. The story here is the 1923 Green Bay Packers, Tom, wore leather helmets. They didn't wear actual helmets like we have today. And so obviously Green Bay can't wear leather helmets. They're not allowed to do that. Now, the funniest part about this is Romeo Dobbs. He wears, the what do they call it there? The special hat, the Guardian cap. They call it the Guardian cap, right? So he wears that, which you look like the mushroom from Mario Brothers when you wear it. Right?
We could tell a few other jokes too, but then we won't even. Then they'll cancel the YouTube show. We tell a few other jokes.
It's not great. Anyway, so they had to cook up a fake faux leather thing to cover the Guardian cap because it has to look. This is so stupid. It has to look like he's wearing a Guardian, like wearing a leather helmet, even though he's wearing something the size of Mars. And it's just great. Anyway, that's it, Tom.
Hey, they've made an argument that if all boxing was without gloves, because they had the gloves to protect people's hands, not to make it safer. And if they played football without face masks and leather helmets, it'd probably be a lot safer because they wouldn't be using their heads.
Yeah, no, I've heard that. I remember Mike Ditka, who's not doing great, he's in poor health, but Ditka used to rant about that. He wanted leather helmets and all that. Well, is this a record for the longest edition? We've just done a 1-hour network show with the commercials coming up here in a moment. My God, Tom, this is unbelievable. This is a full extended dance remix, as you would say here. The unedited, non-radio edited here. This is crazy. So,
well, make sure you watch Benny versus the Benny every week. It only makes sense.